A federal court has ruled against a Texas law that would require voters to present photo IDs to election officials before being allowed to cast ballots in November. A three-judge panel in Washington ruled today that the strict law imposes strict, unforgiving burdens on the poor and noted that racial minorities in Texas are more likely to live in poverty. The decision involves an increasingly contentious political issue, a push largely by Republican-controlled legislatures and governors' offices to impose strict identification requirements on voters. State Representative Mike Tuffy Hamilton says the law is needed to eliminate voter fraud.
There's no reason why you shouldn't have some kind of ID, a picture ID to show whenever you, to say that you're that person. You know, whenever you come to the restaurant or any place else, you have to show an ID with a credit card. You have to show an ID with your, when you write a check. You have to show ID to pick up tickets at a sporting event. You know, you have to pay a lot of things you have to show IDs for. And there's just no reason why you shouldn't prove that you're that person when it comes to voting.
Now, Jefferson County Clerk Carolyn told KFDM this afternoon she didn't have a problem with the photo ID law, but she said the legislature didn't give election officials the funding nor the time to implement an ID system. Texas Attorney General Greg Abbott said that the state will appeal the ruling to the Supreme Court, which is the next stop in a voting rights case.
The controversy over the Texas voter ID law is drawing comments from our viewers on our KFDM News Facebook page. One person writes, to get any sort of government assistance, wouldn't you have to prove who you are? Seems like if they can find a way to get government assistance, they can find a way to get an ID. As someone who works with the indigent, chronically ill, and underserved, I see how much of a struggle it is for the impoverished to obtain updated documents many of us may take for granted. Sorry, I just can't wrap my brain around anyone concerned about a fair election not embracing voter ID. And if you want to read other comments or add your own, just go to our KFDM News Facebook page. And we want to know what you think as well. Answer the poll question on our Facebook page. So far, more than 300 people have responded, and 93% say yes, Texans should have a voter ID to vote. Only about 7% say no. We'll have more comments and the results of our Facebook poll on 6 News tonight at 10.